Hey Physique Freaks, how's it going? Scott Tuzan on MetabolicMasterpiece.com. Today, I'm going to share some tips on how to maximize your pec activation and really enhance your mind-muscle connection with your chest during your workouts. First tip is going to take place during your warm-up. You're just going to be using the bar. Get on a flat bench, incline bench, whatever you prefer. And what you're going to be doing before you even unrack the bar is squeeze your hands inwards. Your hands aren't actually going to move on the bar. You're just going to create that internal intention, that internal force, and you're going to keep that force going inwards during the entire movement. I want you really focusing on squeezing your hands inward, and as you're pushing up, squeeze your upper arm up against your chest. So lots of internal force, keeping my shoulders back on the bench, squeezing those hands in, and really pushing that upper arm against the chest. So I'm not reaching up for the ceiling, I'm keeping my shoulders back, shoulder blades retracted, kind of squeezed in together. You're just going to do 10 comfortable reps. You're actually going to feel pretty darn fatigued as you're squeezing your hands in. I'm going to get a little video demonstration in here and see it in action. I mean, basically just looking for those hands squeezing in.
All right, let's keep an eye on my biceps here. Boom, there you go. When you see them contract, that's when it's creating that inward force with my hands, and although the biceps contract a bit, you're going to feel a strong contraction with the pecs. And I want you to maintain that inward force with your hands throughout the entire range of motion for every single rep of this set. You'll be amazed that after just 10 reps of this, your pecs will feel fairly fatigued. And you can repeat this 2 to 3 times as your warm-up, and you can even pick one bench exercise each month to work on using this inward force. Just note that you're going to have to go a little bit lighter with the weight. For the rest of your benching exercises, don't use that inward force, just bench as you normally would, and see how that helps with your pec activation.
The next thing I like to do is perform some sort of fly movement, whether it be a dumbbell fly or a cable fly. Starting off with the dumbbells as a demonstration, what I like to do once I grab those dumbbells, bring them up, make sure those shoulders are back, always in contact with the bench, so they're staying back as I'm flying and squeezing forward, and I'm really focused on not so much bringing the dumbbells together as I am thinking about squeezing my upper arm against the pec. So shoulders are back, squeeze those upper arms against the pec. Again, I'm not looking to reach forward, and I see a lot of people really reaching up to the ceiling. A lot of people really focus on bringing their hands together. I want you to focus on squeezing your upper arms against the chest. Really feel that stretch on the way down. So you're just trying to activate those pecs, really enhance that mind-muscle connection. So go a little bit slower. We're not talking super slow, maybe 3-4 seconds on the way down. Feel the stretch in the pecs. Before you raise it up, don't use momentum, a brief pause in the bottom. Contract the pecs, squeeze those arms against your chest. You can play around with grip movement. You can turn your palms down. You may feel a little bit different contraction, maybe a little bit more so in the upper chest area. Great way to start things off.
Check out how I set myself up here. Bring the dumbbells up, then let the shoulders sink down into the bench so the shoulder blades are squeezed together a bit. Nice, slow, controlled stretch through the bottom. That's when I really try to get the mind-muscle connection with the pecs. Feeling those pecs stretching as you're going down. And then as soon as you get to the bottom, a brief pause, contract those pecs, engage those pecs, and really squeeze the upper arm against the chest on the way up. So I'm not thinking about bringing those dumbbells together. I am thinking about squeezing my upper arm as hard as I can against my chest. You may notice here I'm playing around with the dumbbells, the angle, then I'm bringing them together. So I'll turn my thumbs a little bit more towards each other at times. Now as bringing those thumbs, bringing the pinkies in together, there I'm switching it up again. Just getting a little playful with this movement to, again, enhance that mind-muscle connection, see where I feel the best contraction, the best mind-muscle connection, the best pec activation. So really using this as a way to enhance that mind-muscle connection at the beginning of the workout, and that's going to carry into the other chest exercise. Again, nice slow controlled movements, keeping those shoulders back in contact with the bench.
If you're doing cable flies, same thing. Stepping forward, see a lot of people really reaching out forward. Keep those shoulders back, keep the chest up, shoulders back, reaching, squeezing those upper arms against the chest. One trick that I really like to do at the beginning of the workout, squeezing and holding that squeeze here for about 5 seconds, get a good stretch, come forward, squeeze for 5 seconds, hold it. While you're holding it there, play around, get playful, see if you can feel different, contract the pecs in different aspects of the chest there. Again, coming forward, you can even turn those hands down. Cable flies, if you have them up high, palms can be facing here, come down, you can turn those hands in, kind of rotate those shoulders inwards, you're gonna feel a totally different kind of contraction, really intense contraction in the upper pec. So up, come down, turn those thumbs inwards here. Rotate those shoulders forward, stretch up. So you're opening up the chest in the top, coming down, squeezing those thumbs forward. Neat little tricks to kind of activate those chest muscles in the beginning of the workout.
All right, so making sure that I'm keeping my shoulders back. Shoulder blades are slightly squeezed together to keep those shoulders back. I'm not thinking about reaching forward as far as I can. I'm not thinking about bringing my hands together. I am thinking about just keeping those shoulders back and squeezing my upper arm against my chest as hard as I possibly can. Getting a little brief contraction there to, again, help that mind-muscle connection. Really maximize that contraction, squeezing the heck out of it. Just feeling every aspect of this movement. Love the stretch, love the pump, and again, this is going to carry over into the rest of your workout. And here we're going to be holding the squeeze, making sure those shoulders are back. So you saw that subtle little adjustment there. I caught myself reaching a little bit too far forward, so really make sure I push those shoulders back, and all I'm focused on here during that squeeze is pushing my upper arms against my pecs as hard as I possibly can. And I'll play around with the hand movements. So notice how I had my palms facing each other and then turn those thumbs downward, trying to maximize that upper pec contraction there. So get a little playful with that movement and play around with the different angles. If you have an adjustable cable machine, you can set it up a little bit higher and pull a little bit lower. And again, get playful with this movement. Just really squeeze the hell out of it and get that mind-muscle connection as strong as it can get before you carry on to the other chest exercises in your workout.
Now there's two different approaches I like to take when performing any kind of dumbbell chest press exercise. First one is just like I've been talking about here. We're really focused on squeezing those arms against the pecs and really kind of bringing those arms as close and tight together. What I'm not thinking of is bringing my hands together. What I'm thinking about is driving my elbows in as close as I possibly can. So the arms are pretty much straight and getting that elbow pressed up against the chest as hard as I can. Really squeezing still, always keeping the shoulders back. Squeezing that arm as hard as I can up against the pecs.
And here it is in action. All I'm thinking about is squeezing my upper arm against my chest as much as I possibly can, to the point where the dumbbells come very, very close to touching each other. I'm not going to bang them off of each other, but they are going to come very, very close to touching each other and just trying to maximize the contraction here.
The second approach is to come out and I'm still focused on squeezing my upper arm against the chest as hard as I possibly can, but I'm going to keep my hands outside of my shoulders. The reason I like to do that is I find it keeps a lot more tension on the pecs throughout the whole range of motion. There's no, like, even though I'm squeezing really hard here, all that force is coming down right through my joints. So my joints are kind of taking a bit of that load from the dumbbells, whereas I'm out here, I feel a lot more tension on the pecs. I find it I fatigue a lot faster when I keep my hands outside of my shoulders. So I'll alternate between those two variations, but each and every time I'm keeping my shoulders back, whether my hands are close together or finishing out here, shoulders are back, arms are always pushing up against the chest.
So once again, get myself set up, dumbbells up, make sure the shoulders are down, back in contact with the bench. Nice controlled movement on the way down. Again, you can play around with the tempo. It doesn't always have to be like slow and controlled like this. I like to do about a 3-second negative. Nice controlled contraction there as well. But sometimes I'll do more explosive movements, let that weight come down a little bit quicker, so play around with that. Notice how I made a subtle little adjustment there. Brought my hands back just a little bit more above my upper chest. I have a tendency to bring my hands a little bit more forward, more towards the lower aspect of the pecs, and I feel a different sort of pec engagement there. But bottom line, my hands are staying a little more out from each other. The dumbbells aren't coming as close together, but I'm still thinking about pushing that upper arm against the chest. Nice slow negative at the end there. You can also experiment with a wider grip on the bench. The wider the grip, the less tricep involvement in the movement. But once again, unracking the weight, make sure those shoulders get down in contact with the bench and keep them down there. not reaching for the ceiling here. And even though your hands are out wide, you're still thinking about squeezing that upper arm against the chest. Nice, slow, controlled movement. With a wider grip, you're going to have to go a little bit lighter with this. I recommend just changing it up from time to time. Vary your grip. I wouldn't use a wide grip all the time. It can be a little bit tough on the shoulders, but I find that when you do it once in a while, it takes the shoulders and triceps out of the movement, and you really feel an incredible stretch in the chest at the bottom range of the motion. And one of my favorite exercises where I feel a maximum contraction in my pecs and enhanced mind muscle connection is the cable chest press. Once again, keeping those shoulders pressed up against the bench and pushing those upper arms against the pecs. You can also get playful with this movement as you're contracting, pushing those hands out. You can turn those thumbs downward even more so than what you're seeing here in this video. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet, during all my chest exercises, whether it's a dumbbell bench press, a barbell bench press, or this cable chest press, is that as I'm pushing my hands forward, I am also thinking of driving my back into the bench. So I'm really like forcing my back into the bench, and it just creates a whole different force. Rather than thinking of just pushing your hands forward, think of pushing your body into the bench, pushing that back into the bench as hard as you possibly can. And with the incline, you can play around with pushing your stomach, your lower back into the bench as hard as you possibly can, keeping that rib cage locked down, or you can have a slight arch in that lower back and arch that upper chest area towards the ceiling and see if you feel a better stretch there. Also, notice how I'm doing a brief lockout at the top here. I'm not resting up there. I am maximally contracting my pecs, pushing my upper arms against my chest as much as possible, whereas here, I am using a partial range of motion, not locking out, keeping constant tension on the pecs. I'm actually also squeezing my hands inward, creating that inward force with this movement. I hope you found this video beneficial. I look forward to hearing how you apply it to your training, and please let me know how it goes. If any of these little tips that I've shared with you today help you enhance that mind-muscle connection with your pecs and maximally activate them during your chest workouts.